What is up, guys? Emerald Void here,
This is Link Shadow.
and welcome to episode 0 of the Pokemon Soul Silver Extreme Randomizer Nuzlocke. And what this episode is going to be is pretty much just going over the rules and getting to the point where we get our first Pokemon, and that'll probably be it for this episode. It's pretty much just an introduction episode to kind of go over the rules of the Nuzlocke that we've established and to kind of tell you how we randomized our Soul Silver. And I guess I'll go over the Soul Silver part first because it takes the least amount of time. But basically what we have done is made it to where everything in this game is going to be randomized. All the Pokemon that we catch in the wild will be randomized. All their typings will be randomized. All the moves that they can learn will be randomized. Their evolutions will be randomized. All trainer battles will be randomized now. The rival battles, Pokemon will be randomized. I think that's it. Pretty much anything pertaining to the actual Pokemon in the game has been randomized. Items on the ground have been left the same. That was, I think, causing us some bugs. Pokemon you get through trade have been left the same. Pokemon you get through, other, like, various means have been left the same.
Yeah.
If it's not a Pokemon you catch, it's been left the same. Just because we were having a lot of problems with the ROM crashing. And it was a nightmare. But now that we've got all that mess out of the way, let's go over the rules. So, we went pretty standard Nuzlocke rules. Any Pokemon that faints is considered dead and must be released. That's just general rule of thumb for most Nuzlockes. Pretty simple. The player may only catch the first Pokemon encountered in each area. Also, pretty self-explanatory. Nickname the Pokemon that you get. Also, pretty basic rule. And a blackout or whiteout screen is considered game over. And those were the basic 4 that I feel like are in every Nuzlocke. The next 3 rules that they're on the list are just special optional rules that we added that I think are going to make this interesting. If we run into a shiny Pokemon, we can still catch it regardless of whether or not it's the first encounter in the area. And it doesn't need to be released if it faints. And this is called the Shiny Clause. And I found all these rules on Bulbapedia, and I just kind of scrolled through and I kind of tried to pick, after the basic ones that you'd use in all Nuzlocke, I tried to pick a few that I thought would be interesting for me and Robbie to use in our Nuzlocke.
I liked the Shiny Claws, honestly.
I think the Shiny Clause is going to be pretty neat if we can run into a Shiny.
That's the thing.
With Shinies already being a low percentage anyway and everything being randomized now, running into a Shiny is probably going to be pretty tough. But if it happens, we've got a clause for it, so that'll be neat. Then this is an optional rule that I saw on Bulbapedia that I thought was pretty neat. Each gym badge acts as a checkpoint, and if the player gets a game over, they can start from when they got their previous gym badge. So I thought that was an interesting way to continue the Nuzlocke, but still keep the Nuzlocke rules in place. Because you have to, if you're on, you've fought your way to the Elite Four, and you beat the last gym, and you die, you gotta go all the way back and do it over.
Yeah.
So it's still, it's a little forgiving in the fact that you get a do-over, but it's still unforgiving in the fact that you have to start over.
And even if you do lose a Pokemon in battle, you'll have to let it go anyways, so
Yep.
There's still that aspect.
I mean, once you start over, you don't even have those Pokemon.
Well, I just meant as far as having the checkpoints and being able to use those. Because the rules in place for a Pokemon fainting, you'll still have to let it go regardless if you start over from a checkpoint or not.
Something that we'll need to discuss or take viewer opinions on. A blackout or whiteout screen is considered game over, but we're adding a checkpoint system. So do we just need to eliminate the game over screen?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Alright, so the game over screen will not be there anymore because if we're adding a checkpoint system, then there's no point in making it be game over. We'll have to we'll have to talk about this a little bit more off screen because this is, I feel like, it's a pretty important conversation to have. But we will we'll figure it out. And the last rule is if the player has no Pokemon that can use a certain field move that is needed to continue through the story, or just through any point in the game that you have to use a move to get through, like Cut, Rock Smash, whatever, and you don't have a Pokemon that can learn it, you can catch another Pokemon that can learn that move, but it can't be used in battle for any reason. So if he's in your party and you've only got one other Pokemon and that Pokemon faints, that is not technically Nuzlocke over because you have a Pokemon in your party. He's just not allowed to battle. And then once you're done with it, once you get through the area you're in and you get to a point where you can put him in a box, you have to leave him in the box until you need him again. And that's the only time he can be in your party, is when you need him. And then when you're done, you've got to put him right back in the box. But that is it for these rules. There are quite a few of them. I didn't realize there were so many rules for this Nuzlocke challenge. But I think it's time, boys and girls, to
start this most excellent adventure.
To set up the controls, because they're... Alright guys, so I had some control difficulty there. But we talked about it, and we are going to try this Nuzlocke with the checkpoint system versus the game over system. And we'll see how it goes. And I'm so glad fastest text is still turned on, because
We can get through this pretty quick.
dear God,
Oak likes to talk a lot.
these are so like long-winded of conversations, like every time. Like every game, they're always the same. So what we're gonna do, guys, is I'm going to get this on screen where we're naming our dude, and then we're gonna cut straight to where we're getting our first starter, and then we'll go from there.
What should we name our dude?
Something cool, something...
We could name him... We could name him Dude.
Alright, so our dude man guy is ready to go. And we are going to cut straight to where we get our first starter. And cut out all this arbitrary running around nonsense. So we'll see you here in a bit. Alright guys, here we are. We are at the point where every boy becomes a man when we pick our first starter. And these have also all been randomized, so we could get anything in the fucking world.
Make a Requaquay.
Magneton,
These are all really good choices.
Lyron, and Ponyta. The ghost type Magneton,
Okay.
the normal type Larion, and the poison type Ponyta. I kind of want the ghost type Magneton.
Really, yeah.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the ghost type Magneton. That's pretty.
The only thing is that's unfortunate is we won't get an evolution with that one.
Yeah, it does.
It does get an evolution?
Was Magnezone in this game, or was that later?
I think that was later. I don't know though. Honestly.
I can't remember.
Magnezone may be in this game then. So what do we name him?
We're gonna name him Spooky.
Spooky?
We'll name him Spooky. Yeah. Lame names for the win. Alright, let me check something really quick. Alright, we're doing good. We're doing good. Alright, guys, so I'm going to cut through all of this. We got to go talk to Mr. Pokemon. I'm going to cut all this out and just meet you at Mr. Pokemon. Alright, now we got our Reeboks on, and we're just going to run up here to Mr. Pokemon's. Alright, guys, so that big whole ordeal is over with. Now we're going to run back down to First Town and do the rival battle, I'm pretty sure. Did I already get that? Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and do our rival battle, and we'll catch you back there for that. We're going to fight this douche canoe and hopefully whoop his ass. But he's probably going to have some godly legendary Pokemon that I'm just going to get wrecked by, like a Mewtwo. No, he's got garbage.
I wonder what it knows, though. That has the potential. I was gonna say that has the potential to confuse it, doesn't it?
We have a lot of status moves because we also have
I feel like that'll help us.
Thundershock causes paralysis, and Metal Sound makes their defense go down, I think. But we've just got Tackle, which is such a bland move. Let's try Thundershock. Oh wow,
super effective.
Nice. So yeah, we whooped that guy's ass and got a level in the process. Probably the minute we learn a better damaging move, I'm going to get rid of Tackle. Without a doubt. Alright, so that's over. What we're going to do, we're going to cut back to the place.
The first area you catch something?
Yeah. Probably do that. And catch our first Pokemon in the game, guys. Or of this Nuzlocke.
This guy. Douche.
Like always. Like he will always be douche. Douche Canoe sadly doesn't fit, but I would totally just call him Douche Canoe if we could. No,
yeah.
Damn it. Oh, you mean his name's not Douche? What is it? Douche.
Douche.
Alright, guys, that is going to be it for this episode. On the next episode, we're going to go ahead and catch our first Pokemon in the Nuzlocke. I thought we were going to do it in this one, but I think that episode 0 should just be an introduction episode to go over the rules and to get past the boring part of the game. There is one thing I want to show you guys before we end the episode, but I don't care. If you like the video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us on all the good social medias to stay up to date for when we post more of this, which hopefully will be every Sunday. I'm not really sure yet, but hopefully will be soon. I want to show you guys this before we quit, before we call it quits. Like, you all know what this is. This is the first, teaching you how to catch a Pokemon area. But there's something that I just want to see. Alright, so she takes us into the grass, and she's going to be catching a Tauros.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
That's all I wanted to... Oh my God!
She has a Dragonite!
What the fuck? You have to fight her later?
Yes, you do.
Fuck! We're so screwed. We are so boned.
Oh, man.
We're so boned.
Oh. She'll have a Tauros, too, at that point. No telling what else, but...
We are so boned. So, I think that's it for this episode, guys. On the next episode, we will catch our first Pokemon in the Nuzlocke and start the whole deal about getting to the first gym town. Try to train a little bit, get all of that done. But I'm Emerald Void.
This is Link Shadow.
And I've got one question for you.
Are you feeling nostalgic yet?